If you love classic cars, then Donald loves you. So here at the Goodwood Festival of Speed at McLaren F1, one of the things that makes this event so special is the mixture of great history and present history being made. And Daniel Ricciardo, driver for the McLaren F1 team in Formula One right now, is with us. And first of all, it's an honor to be here with you. It has been amazing following your career and watching what you're doing this season, transitioning to a new team. And the first question is, where is the podium tattoo?
So, it's a great question. I have been in contact with Cyril, so it's still alive. It's still alive. It yet hasn't happened, but the world will know when it happens. It'll be documented, and I'm hoping. I keep saying this, but I am hoping it gets done soon. But he's still on board. He doesn't want to not let it happen. But yeah, we'll hopefully soon. Now the world's kind of opening up a little bit more, I think it will start to make it easier to get in the right place at the right time.
Fantastic. Now, I'm here with Audrain Motorsport and a part of Audrain Group, which also has the Audrain Automobile Museum. And of course, one of the reasons why we're here, we're great partners with McLaren Racing, and we have just purchased this wonderful MP44 Alain Prost car. So, you know, the history of McLaren and the present history of McLaren is really very much alive. So I'm sure you've been asked this question before. You've driven some vintage Formula One cars. What is the experience like driving your modern car versus driving a car from this period?
Honestly, it's so different. Like, it's really, the only thing we can relate to is like going fast and a steering wheel, but it's like the seating position, probably more like visibility. Like, you see so much more in the older cars because you sit higher, everything's lower and shorter, so you can kind of see everything in front of you. Where in the modern cars, we're low, the cars are much longer, so we don't really see until, quite a few feet ahead of us. So like, you've got to pick reference points a lot more in the modern cars, where the older cars, it's a lot easier to like hit your apex. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier because you can just see more. But knowing what I know now, to drive like the old cars in anger back then, wheel to wheel, I think ignorance was bliss back in those days.
Yeah, there's that great line in the movie Grand Prix where he says, "If I use my imagination, I never get behind the wheel." Now, what also about driving a modern car, which I know for a lot of fans at home, I'm no race car driver, God knows, but a lot of fans at home have a tendency to say, "Gosh, what is this?" So one of the other questions, Daniel, is the fact that when you drive an old car with a manual gearbox, a lot of fans don't realize that a lot of the driving then was also one-handed. So, can you imagine driving around Monaco in a manual gearbox car?
I've watched onboards of those clips, and part of me, I would love to try, but I've also watched it in like disbelief. I'm just like, Monaco is so insane as it is, let alone obviously 3 pedals, H-pattern gearbox, it's crazy, And I guess like these were the first images I had of Formula One growing up, so that's ultimately what drew me into the sport. So I'll always love that, but I think more than anything, just admire what they did.
And one of the things that, our last question is that one of the things that we do in Newport, Rhode Island at the Audrain Newport Concours and Motor Week is we have a class called 30 Under 30, where owners of cars who are 30 years old and younger, who have $30,000 or less invested in their cars, to get people involved in what's going on with cars. What would you say to a young car enthusiast as the way that they should get into it?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I don't know if this necessarily answers your question, but like one thing I love, and now like driving older cars, is it's like the feel, you know, and it's like, so try to find something that vibrates a little, that, you know, like you can kind of feel it through the seat of your pants. And I don't want it to be a perfect car, like let it crunch a little on the shift, and but yeah, like you want to feel like kind of intimidated as well by it. So, and it doesn't mean it has to be fast, but it just has to like rattle and shake a little bit. So yeah, I tried to kind of answer it, but that's some kind of advice I'll give.
It's a brilliant answer, because I think it proves that if you can really connect with a car, then that's the secret to going really fast in a car like this. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us.
No
and
worries.
good luck in the season.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.